And welcome to episode 787 of Hard Factor. It is Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. We got Mark, Pat, Wes, and I'm Will. All the boys in the house today to do an interview with a Brian Laundrie manhunt expert named Brian Entin. How'd you guys think that went?
Well, it was awesome. He was Wes. Good job getting that guy. Wes is our Gabby Petito expert. He was at the house.
Yeah,
he was at the Laundrie's house.
He's in the yard.
He's in the yard. The whole interview.
Right where dog once stood. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
This is pretty incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's big new developments. So yeah,
it's at the end of this show. At the end of the
Yes.
show, and
Yes,
YouTube.com to see the scene. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And before that interview, we're going to talk some politics, entertainment, international stories, and cop stories.
Yeah, I got a new segment for you called 5 Oh No. 5-0 No.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Workshopping the name, one of those two.
5-0
Both pretty good.
No.
You could
Just the way
definitely
you
do
say
a
it,
recurring with that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
there's a
fools
lot
that
of-
work in schools.
There's a lot of meat on the bone there.
Yeah.
Where are we going internationally, Pat?
Oh, bro, we're going to Scotland, big time, and then we're going to the Holy Land, Jerusalem.
It's two illustrious locations.
Yeah, big time.
Nice. All right. Well, if nothing else, let's do the news. Cup of coffee in the big time is up first.
Yeah, cup of coffee in the big time.
Holidays, history, and trending news. But first, a fun fact. Did you guys know that scientists estimate that there are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on planet Earth?
You flipped it on us because the other one was more trees on Earth
Yeah.
than stars in the Milky Way galaxy.
That's right. The galaxy's
more
pretty big.
But there's the universe, which is
Which is
bigger
bigger.
than the Milky Way galaxy, and there's more stars than grains of sand. I almost asked you about this question.
And you would have been right because there are more stars in the universe than grains of sand
Bro.
on Earth, which is crazy. When you think about it, think about how
Yes.
many grains of sand there are.
We're running
So
out of
many.
sand, Will. We are
What?
running out of sand.
But there's so much of it.
There's so
Dude,
many
well, here's
grains,
problem.
though.
It's
There's a
under
good-
the ocean.
There's a
Yeah.
good sand
Mhm.
and there's a bad sand. And the good sand you can build with, and the bad sand you can't build with. And we're running out of the good sand.
Oh, man.
It's not good. It's
Isn't
bad.
that
It's
North
bad.
Korea's
Are we?
main export is sand.
I think we got
Bro,
plenty of sand.
Most shit is built with sand.
Wow,
really
I mean,
sand.
Sand castles.
I humble brag here. I don't know if you guys have been following the show for a long time, but I went to Tahiti for my honeymoon. No big deal. And,
lots of sand.
In Tahiti, a lot of the beaches are was it black sand in parts of Tahiti, and then like going to
Oh,
Moorea and
wow.
other islands,
That's
they're
fancy.
like different. Well, black sand is awesome. One negative thing about it is that it follows you for the next year in your clothes and wherever you go. Like like if you think you get grains of sand, like and you find later,
Oh, right.
imagine black sand. It's just like appearing in your
It's like
clothes.
when you
yeah.
get a black dog, you think
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm never going to see these hairs because it's black and
Right.
a lot of my clothes
It's
are
the
black.
opposite.
No, that's not
Yeah.
true.
So
Yeah.
that's a fun fact about black sand. It'll never go away.
Lots of fun facts in there. Yeah. Well, thanks
I could
for
be
going
wrong
on that
about mine,
journey
I don't know.
together.
What's that, Wes?
What's
I
that,
could be
Wes?
wrong about my North Korea fun fact about sand. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that I'm right.
We're gonna
Maybe.
go with it.
They don't have an export.
Yeah.
Wes.
They're not really in the Sahara, so I mean, but I don't know what they export, so that
Their
sounds
biggest-
about right.
The biggest import is brainwashing.
And
That's
Volvos,
their-
man.
well, that's just what they produce. Yeah, their
Yeah,
Yeah, they
GDP
sell sand.
Their
They sell
GDP
sand.
is
There it is.
made of sand and propaganda.
Yeah.
Those are the two prime exports. October 6th, holidays, American Libraries Day. Something they don't have in North Korea, probably libraries, you know?
It's just one book.
just Kim Jong-un's
Yeah. It's a picture
calendar.
book. Yeah.
That's all you get. Come and Take It Day, probably big in Texas. German American Day. Mad Hatter Day, because it's got 10-6 on his hat. National Coaches Day, National Badger Day, and Walk to School Day. So, I mean, not anything really to write home about. Just
No.
those are the days.
It was a great adventure when you could walk to school. Like if you weren't a normal walker, and then like suddenly you and your friends just were like, "Fuck it, let's walk home today. Let's walk to school." Today."
that's the best.
It was fun.
Walking
Yes.
home's the best. They're saying walk to school. I don't know
Right,
if it's like
yeah.
a green thing. I'm not sure.
I
A
used
lot
to
of
walk
kids-
to elementary school.
Get in trouble on that walk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
used to walk to
can
elementary school.
get in trouble at the bus stop. You can get in trouble anywhere as a kid. That's
Walking's fun, but you know what's not great? Back to the bullying is like the crossing guards, the volunteer kid crossing guards, nerds.
Right.
Oh man, I wanted to be on
Yeah.
the safety patrol so bad, but
Did
my
you?
grades weren't good enough.
Oh,
I was a patrol for like a
nerd.
year.
Yeah, you were a big time Boy Scout. That was the
Yeah, I was in the Boy Scouts patrol.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
that stuff.
There was an apple tree that we used to just ravish on our way home, walking home from school in someone's front yard.
that's
Just
fun.
great apples, and we just used to steal the fuck out of them and just feast on apples on the way home.
I loved like honeysuckle and mulberry season in Virginia.
Yeah.
Grabbing some of those on the way home.
good season
Delicious.
changes in Virginia.
Delicious. All right. Today in history, October 6th, in 1889, Thomas Edison showed his first motion picture. Pretty big event there. First movie. Nice. Changed the course of the world a lot. In 1939, October 6th, Adolf Hitler denied that he intended to go to war against France and Britain, but he also announced his plans to regulate the Jewish problem. So maybe you shouldn't believe anything he said when he's also announcing plans of genocide. So,
I had my fingers crossed
yeah. He
behind my
did.
back. Yeah,
Not on the one thing, but on
Yeah.
the not attacking people thing. Yes, fingers crossed.
right.
He was telling the truth on his Jewish hate.
Didn't like the Jews. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Another fun tit for tat here. In 1949, U.S. President Harry Truman signed the Mutual Defense Assistance Act for NATO. And then in 1951, 2 years later, Joseph Stalin proclaimed that the Soviet Union had the atomic bomb. So
Oh, that's scary.
nice little back and forth right there. Basically started the Cold War. Speaking of the Cold War, 1961, JFK advises Americans to build fallout shelters. So that must have been fun. Fun day, October 6th,
Was that when he was
1961.
right around when he was cucking Jolt and Joe?
Yeah. He was probably on acid when he decided to
Yeah.
announce that. So,
What a,
Joe the
what a
Custom Maggio?
scary decree that is.
Yeah. yeah, terrifying.
Here, my fellow Americans, grab a shovel and a bag of cement.
I'm going to fuck Maryland in the
Start
tunnels.
digging.
I'll be back after the titles.
Yeah. Yeah. And finally, on this day, October 6th in
Oh,
history.
Joe's got a double header, huh? No, too bad for Joe.
Well, those away games.
It's a long season, baseball. Long season.
We know exactly where he is.
All right. And then finally, on October 6th in history, 1993, after 9 seasons and 3 championships with the Bulls, Michael Jordan announced his retirement from the NBA. Of course, he did return on March 18th, 95 to lead the Bulls to 3 more titles.
Yeah.
in the NBA.
A lot
Probably
of
should have just
pe-
stayed.
A lot of people think that was his punishment for betting on sports.
Well, he does
think
like
that was
to
a forced
gamble.
retirement. It could have been that. It could have been he was sad his dad died. It could have been anything, but a lot of people think it was a punishment for gambling.
You know what? And if it was, it
Came
it
back
was
and won
done-
3 more.
done
Came
in a
back and
classy
punished
way.
the
Nobody
other
really knew.
teams. Yeah.
Yeah. And good, because gambling's pretty fun. So if that's what I mean, I could understand. Okay, moving on to the trending
Luckily
news.
for the Rockets, who got 2 championships they would not have had he been playing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, huge for Olajuwon.
Yeah.
Number 3, new streaming stuff. Dave Chappelle's new special, The Closer. It's out now on Netflix. You can watch it anytime if you have a
Nice.
Netflix account. It was filmed in Detroit. It's worth the watch. I watched it before the show. There's a joke in there about Eminem that just fucking floored me. Dave Chappelle says it's going to be his last one for a long time. Talks about his battle with the trans community, being like sort of canceled by them and all of
Right.
his jokes about in the back and forth. And there's a crazy story in that. He also criticizes Twitter very effectively. It's a fun special.
That's awesome. He's been working his ass off, so he should take a break because he's done
5 and 5 years. for
Yeah,
Netflix,
that's a lot of work, and he's been touring. He's been busy. Yeah.
Yeah. So he says this is the last one for a while because of
Yeah.
all the drama with all of
Right.
them. And plus, he needs a break. Like you
It's because
said.
he signed a 5 special deal with Netflix that paid him like $200 million bucks. And
Right.
Hey,
yeah.
But I mean, he fulfilled it for sure. Take a break.
yeah, they've all been pretty good.
That's awesome.
This last one's good as well. And then also House of the Dragon trailer dropped, which is a Game of Thrones prequel. It's coming out on HBO Max in
We were just talking about
2022. Yep, it's about the era when the incestuous dragon-riding Targaryens were in control of Westeros. So we'll see how that turns out.
I'm in.
Those the hot blonde ones.
Yes, gonna give it a try. Again, they fuck each other. They're
It's
they're
just
siblings
hot,
and whatnot.
hot blondes and dragons. And
Yeah.
Man, do you remember Showtime had that show that was like kind of competing with Game of Thrones, but it was just all sex. It was like called like
Oh,
Vikings.
the Spartacus.
no, it wasn't that. It was like
Spartacus
the,
was great.
The arena, sex and blood and sand.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was Spartacus. Yeah, so Spartacus,
Spartacus,
Blood
yeah.
and Sand. Yes.
Mm.
It-
You know what
that was-
happened in that
was
one?
The show.
The guy who was the main character like died of cancer at like 25.
That is what happened, and I was loving that series. I
That
would've
was a
kept
great
watching.
series. He that was a shock. He got, I don't know if it was like a Norm Macdonald thing, but he just all of a sudden died like of cancer. I don't know if no one knew about it. That was sad. He was the star of the show.
It was like porn with great writing.
Oh yeah,
It was
lot of-
awesome.
a lot of
Loved
hot
that
bodies
series.
in that show. Yeah.
Mediocre writing, but I mean, great writing for porn. But oh man,
There was just full on sex happening all the time.
Spartacus.
It was
Spartacus,
so
should we
great.
solve this in the ring naked with
Yeah,
the orgy with all
exactly.
the women? And
Yes, every episode.
in an
And then
era
somebody
of
grabs a
time
sword, and gets
Yeah.
a
birth
blowjob.
control doesn't exist. No, but then I think Game of Thrones. That's when they did that Jason Momoa Targaryen scene. You know the one.
Yes.
Where he kills him.
where
Well, spoilers.
they teach her how to mount and they
Where he
tell
doth
him,
raps her.
Oh,
he
the
gets
sex
he
one.
gets
Yeah,
she gets on top and they're like he's like no you got to
That's nice.
experience it on top. Yeah, that was
Pretty
nice.
sure that was because the writers of Game of Thrones were like, you see what they're doing across town at Showtime with this blood, sex, and oil and Spartacus show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why she got all prude towards the end? Because the guy died, and she knows she didn't have to compete anymore.
Well, the show got
Huh?
Yeah, the show you mean and then the show got canceled. Yeah. You're like,
I'm saying,
Yeah.
when the blonde chick from Game of
Right.
Thrones, she started to get a little prudy. Is it because she knew she didn't have to do that because the other show got canceled?
It's called
Yes.
Second Contract, Wes.
Interesting.
yeah.
I don't think that's it. I think she just took advantage of the situation.
Yeah. Well, lots of nudity in both of those.
She had
shows.
some health issues too.
Wes is like, you finish what you started.
She was getting
I'm good.
like
I'm good with the nudity level in
epileptic
both
or
those
something
shows.
in there, around that
Yeah,
time.
she
so-
has a health issue, right?
Yeah, she had a big health issue around that time, so I think she put her foot down when she almost died and was like, "I don't want to do nude scenes anymore." And they're like,
All right.
"All right,
Yeah. Well, we've spent
Yeah.
enough time on the nudity. I think.
if you
But
say so."
Just trying to
We'll
get to the
send some
bottom of
links
it.
in the group chat.
Yeah. So, and here is a nude scene. If you click on there,
yeah, we got an interview to get to eventually, so
Okay,
let's
all
just move it along here. Number 2, couple follow-ups. Otis, it's official. I'm looking at the count right now, basically official. Otis, he won Fat Bear of the Week 2021. His record 4th championship, his first since 2017. He's like the Tom Brady of Fat Bears.
or the
Way
Michael
to
Jordan
go,
of Bears. We just saw,
Otis.
yeah.
Or the MJ, right. I don't know if he retired or if he just had a couple down years, though.
He retires every winter. Will.
Needed to.
To his bear cave.
Yeah.
Is it a retirement if you come back, though, every year?
Who was your today in history, man?
He's fighting the fat season every year.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is my last year. He says every year.
Death is the
anyhow.
Bears' official retirement.
Yeah. That's true.
We call that
can't stop.
winter.
Do
Yeah,
you think Otis stopped competing because that other bear died?
yeah. In nature, you can't retire, right?
Got him.
You can
Maybe.
only die. Anyways, way to go, Otis,
Getting cut from the
Congrats.
team.
on your 4th
Congrats,
championship.
Otis.
Yeah. Otis is older, so he may get cut at some point. That's sad to think about. Also, something else sad to think about for everybody that played. The $700 million Powerball jackpot went to one person in Morro Bay, California, and it was a $496 million immediate cash out option for that one very lucky person. So
Man, if there's something that makes you want to buy ammo, I don't know what it is more than hearing that and it
To
not
go
being
shoot
you.
that person?
I mean, it's great
Or
that the
yourself.
one person
Okay.
gets
Oh.
that. It's cool.
Is it?
It's not us. Yeah, we don't get to split it. So
I'm a little relieved and also sad because it was $30 a week what we were doing to ourselves.
But it was so
chasing
worth
this Powerball.
imagine
it
if we
was
had gotten
fun.
that 500 million, Wes.
I mean, I'll do it all day, but it was it was getting taxing.
Wes is also sleeping better. There's a lot of stress on Wes thinking about that win.
No, it's not stressful. It's just it's exciting every time.
It's depressing.
It always is. Exciting then depressing. That's the gambling cycle, but it's fun. Get excited, then you get depressed, then you get excited and happy.
It's gonna be the normal cat food for a while. Cats.
Did you really go all in on the lotto?
No, it's just going to be their normal cat food because that's all I can afford.
Had a couple cocktails, started talking it up to the cats
Yeah.
that they were going to be getting a better
Gonna be
treatment.
getting good food soon. Yeah,
Got ahead of myself a little bit.
Fridge food, yeah.
gonna give them a. Never mind.
No, it makes
They're
sense.
Fine. They're fine.
They're totally fine. Number one today, the cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop.
There we go. We're going around the hill. That's right, taking it back to Capitol Hill, seeing what's going on. The DOJ announced on Friday that it's cracking down on threats made against teachers and other school officials. It's getting a lot of coverage in the early part of this week. I guess it's happening more during the COVID era. Parents threatening teachers. Even though it's not Fat Boy Summer, a reminder that the same rules apply during football season, which include not being a dick or unit shaming anybody. So cool everyone with the threats on the teachers. So that's all that's happened with the DOJ. Former President Trump and one-time potential presidential candidate Oprah Winfrey dropped off the Forbes 400 richest Americans list this year. The cutoff is now $2.9 billion net worth to be in the club. So they're off that. Twitter is also mad at former VP Mike Pence for saying that Democrats are too focused on January 6th. So that's what's happened with the formers, all the formers.
Just let it go, okay?
Pence is saying that the budget should be their primary concern now, as opposed to the J6. But that's up for debate. Beauty is in the eye of the,
Christian
beholder.
virgin. Oh,
Beholder or whatever.
Yeah, beholder. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Right.
of the debater. Beauty is in the eye of the debater in this situation, right? You said it's up
Right.
for debate. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it more because meanwhile, current President Biden is concerned with the economy. Who gets their way when it comes to raising the debt ceiling and passing or not passing the infrastructure bill and budget reconciliation package, and what size the package is and all of that. Biden spoke in Michigan on Tuesday saying he wants the whole enchilada, as in he wants the infrastructure bill that's already passed the Senate plus the budget reconciliation package. And Manchin and Sinema, the two Democratic senators holding up the budget reconciliation package, allegedly say they're willing to agree to a $1.5 to $2 trillion reconciliation package, basically slashing Joe's budget in half. But nothing concrete on that yet. McConnell and team are still hard-nosed on the Build Back Better budget reconciliation package. So the
Isn't this what
standoff
happened
continues.
with like all the COVID relief? Eventually, there will be a compromise.
Right, it's just a standoff until the compromise actually
Right.
happens, and like they're trying to get better in the court of public opinion. Blah
You guys
blah
want to
blah.
You guys want to take a guess right now, and this is our guess for what is the total amount that combined for infrastructure relief, all of the bills. Joe wants what, 4.5 total, or is it 4.5 plus 4.5?
Five total.
Okay, so what? It's not going to be that probably, unless you want to guess that. I'm going to go first. I'm going to guess 3.4 trillion.
Total with
Total.
infrastructure
Total.
which is 1.5.
Right, that's going to
already.
go through probably right, and then it sounds like there might be a compromise in the second one. I'm going 3.4 total, cumulative.
Yeah,
Anyone else wanna guess?
I would say like 3.2, something
Okay.
like that.
Okay,
The full 5 down
full
here.
5. Okay, Wes,
I'll just go whatever the lowest.
lowest.
Well, that's
Okay.
fun, Wes.
Well, yeah, the full 5 is really fun too.
All right, so Wes,
It
you're
is
3.
fun.
You're under.
Well, the full
3.
five's not going to happen because Manchin and Sinema say it's not going to happen. The
Dreamers dream.
lowest it could be is 1.5 if the reconciliation doesn't pass.
Let's put Wes at 1.5.
Yeah,
Pat at 5. And
I'll
Put me
take
at 2.
3.
I'll
take
do
3.
3.5. I'll be 3.5. There you go.
There
Wes
we
is
go.
2.
There we go.
Let's see
What do you
what's-
get if you win this thing?
let's do a money bet since it's a money bet. We have to Venmo each other like $20 or something.
All right. Well,
no, I don't want to do money on
coins.
this because I don't
Coins.
think I'm not confident in my two.
Yeah, technically,
It's not.
I
It's
don't know
illegal.
what
Okay,
the
well,
rules
we're
are.
gonna Venmo each other
There,
illegally. Money,
there's a bet.
you know,
There's a
sorry.
bet. Well, okay, that's what it is. Those are the stakes. That's what we have.
Yeah.
But it's only going to last, guys, until October 18th ish, because the Fed says that's when the U.S. government's going to start to default on what they owe, or the Treasury could mint the $1 trillion platinum coin, thanks to a legal loophole, and pay those coins directly to the Fed to raise the debt limit themselves, and also simultaneously prove that American money isn't real. That's a real option that people are talking about.
How did you
You're
not
jo-
lead with
you're
this
joking,
story?
right?
So-
you're joking, right? There's a
No,
$1 trillion
that's a
coin.
legit thing people are saying. The Democrats are saying, you know what, maybe we should look at this $1 trillion coin. It's an interesting possibility.
Can the public get their hand on this coin? Or is it
No,
only for
the
banks?
Treasury would only pay it to the Fed
man.
to prove that money doesn't exist, because why the fuck would they be able to do that? Doesn't make any sense.
Here's 8 $1 trillion coins.
I can't believe
Yes,
you showed
it just
the
proves that money's not real.
a picture of the
silver.
coin. It's like knowing what's inside of Marcellus Wallace's briefcase. Stop it. Put it away.
Yeah.
1 trillion.
Look at that. It looks
Platinum.
So, it's,
You know, and
so
it's funny.
attainable.
So there's a loophole in the whatever the government documents are that regulate this, that says that there's no limit on the amount of platinum money or holdings that the Treasury could like hold, or the Fed could hold, or whatever. So it's like basically just a loophole to keep the economy going, even though it's not based on anything real at all. They would just make these
You know.
$1 trillion platinum coins.
If the Fed wanted to get a higher approval rating, they should do like a Willy Wonka style giveaway of a couple $1 trillion coins here and there.
Oh my
The
god.
public would eat that shit up, and then they're like,
yeah, I mean,
give
that's
away
the way.
$3 $1
That's,
trillion coins.
that's the way we're headed.
Yeah.
Which is scary, right? Which is, I think, why Mansion and Cinema are worried about going for the gusto on on the spending
I'd
packages.
start talking kindly about the Fed if they did a $1 trillion coin giveaway.
Well, fellas, like I say,
Mm-hmm.
because we're going to start to default on what we owe as the U.S. government on October 18th, we'll see which way it goes in the coming weeks. And that's today's cup of coffee in the big time, which was brought to you by PaintYourLife.com. The holidays are coming up, and you're probably on the lookout for the perfect gift. Look no further. Get the person you really care about and need to impress this holiday season a custom commissioned work of art. If you want to give a truly meaningful gift, you've got to try PaintYourLife.com. Get a professional hand-painted portrait created from any photo at a truly affordable price. Choose from a team of world-class artists and work with them until every detail is perfect. Quick and easy process. Get a hand-painted portrait in about 3 weeks. Send a picture, any picture, yourself, your children, family, a special place, or a cherished pet, or combine photos into one painting. Paint Your Life has got you covered. These paintings are incredible. Nothing but positive reviews from all of the hosts and listeners who have used their services many, many, many times over the years that we've been working with Paint Your Life. At PaintYourLife.com, there's no risk. If you don't love the final painting, your money is refunded, guaranteed. And right now, as a limited time offer, get 20% off your painting. That's right, 20% off and free shipping, which is huge on a painting. To get this special offer, text the word FACTOR to 64,000. That's FACTOR to 64,000. Text FACTOR to 64,000. Paint Your Life. Celebrate the moments that matter most. Terms apply. Available at paintyourlife.com/terms. Again, text FACTOR to 64,000 to get in on that deal.
Might get a painting of that $1 trillion coin.
That'd be a sweet portrait.
Is it
Time for the TikTok International Moment.
Yeah.
okay? If you say so. Come away with me, gentlemen. Let me whisk you away to the luxurious Castle Craig in Peeblesshire near Edinburgh, Scotland. The Castle Craig is nestled in the rolling hills of the Scottish countryside. It's a Georgian country manor house retreat, and it features stunning views of pastures and lawns surrounded by hills, a world-class equestrian program, and literally the worst investors on the planet. Because in addition to being a drug and alcohol treatment facility, Castle Craig is a private hospital and the world's first cryptocurrency rehab clinic. Yeah, you heard me.
Oh, shit.
You heard me right there.
Rehab for crypto. We're about to be up
For
in that
addiction?
bitch. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And kind of.
too.
I think I know what you're getting at, and I know what you might be thinking there at home. And no, Crypto Rehab is not some sort of cutesy, ironic name for a place that crypto heads go to unplug and come to terms with how much money they have now. This is an honest-to-God rehab for poor bastards that somehow found a way to go broke during the literal nonstop boom that's been going on since Bitcoin launched. I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and they're needing a rehab from it.
What are you talking about? We're losing money hand over fist over crypto.
Yeah, it's possible.
not me.
My portfolio's down.
Yeah, what are you talking
It's a
about?
net negative.
Yeah.
Not
What
I.
I've invested.
I'll be at that place soon.
No, I'm sorry. If you were,
Well, I'm not. I'm just like treading water. I mean, I think most people in crypto aren't making like a fucking mint.
If you didn't get in Bitcoin like a year or so ago, I mean, and also there's 18,000 altcoins.
It's the
Guys,
altcoins that are killing
It's
people. I think.
altcoins. Yeah.
If you're cryptoing so
18
hard
million.
that you were in a pioneering crypto rehab facility, you should be rich. I'm sorry. If it-
Yeah, how do you afford that? First of all, if you've already,
I'm assuming they don't take crypto.
yeah,
You guys take Solana?
Well, no, that's part of the. Well, that's part of the transit, the recovery. You can never use crypto again if you've been in this position.
Right.
You got to go back. You're only on hard currency. After
Good
this.
luck.
There.
Right? No, bro, I'm fiat only. I'm sorry, I can't.
just need to get to a computer.
Yeah, therapist Tony Marini, who I guess is the lead therapist over there at Castle Craig, told Decrypt of his patients that around 9 of his current patients being treated at the 18th Century Country House are addicted to online crypto trading. He says that they're usually aged between 20 and 45 and have a, quote, bit of spare cash when they start dabbling in crypto, and then
Not for long.
you know what happens there. It sounds like a gateway drug, Tony, but for literally almost everyone so far, the gateway has been to more cash, except for, of course, you guys.
No, there's
No, I mean, I
literally
said
equal
plenty
amount
of
of people
people have
losing money.
lost
That's
money on
how
crypto.
like a stock market or crypto works. Is if the people are making money, then someone's losing
Are
money.
you
I don't
under the
think you
impression
understand-
everybody
I don't think you
who's
understand how
invested in
markets work.
cryptocurrency
Yeah.
has made money?
Yeah.
Apparently, I do understand how markets work because
No,
I
I
don't
don't
need to
think
be in
so.
this crypto rehab facility.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
This is just
right, but
gambling
it's
addiction.
just-
This is just a gambling addiction.
Crypto's
Sure.
gambling.
That's all. That's what it is.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
point is, if you're that fucking focused, right, you should be able to figure it out. I just hope that the patients of Castle Craig can hodl on and make it through their treatments. Right?
I'd say crypto needs to
Hodl.
perform a whole lot better in 2022 to have that type of confidence. Like, saying that nobody ever goes broke from it.
Oh, Pat's told us how much money he's lost all the time off air. It goes up and goes down. Right now he's on the up, so good for you.
Yeah, but I don't put enough time in to go to rehab on it.
Well,
I go
no, but
I go to
people
masturbation rehab, and
That
it
would be-
would be justified. But I
If
also
they
do
had,
that.
if they had
really
a
well.
dual, a masturbation crypto rehab, sign me up.
Well, they
I'm
said-
gonna pull open my wallet right now, and I'll see if I'm net up or down.
It's a
Oh, is
comorbidity.
this
You
the
never
masturbation rehab
know
facility?
any day.
Oh, it's the crypto. It doesn't matter. Either one's fine. I'll just park it right here.
You write some jokes about crypto rehab, asshole. Archaeologists in Israel made an absolutely game-changing discovery on Tuesday while digging in the holy city of Jerusalem. The excavation that was taking place ahead of the development of a new tourist complex in the Armon Hanatziv region. And yeah, the crew, which I guess is from the Antiquities Authority, when they saw what their lead excavator started to unearth, they almost all in unison said, "Holy shit." I'm sorry, I misread that. They said, "Shit hole," not "holy shit," shithole. It was a toilet that they discovered, a 2,700-year-old ancient toilet that Jesus himself may have miracled in. There it is.
Oh, look at that.
Nice, just the old hole in the ground, the
Hole in the
classic.
ground,
Yeah, the researchers were absolutely astounded by the old-ass toilet, which is made of limestone and features a hole.
Oh yeah,
That's all you need.
they still hole it. A lot of countries,
Yeah.
all over the world,
It
still
took
just holding it.
forever. It took forever to upgrade from the hole.
That's
Man,
a small hole, though. You know how dirty that fucking stone.
Yeah, but you don't want the hole too big, Wes.
You
'Cause
don't want
then-
to fall into it.
Well, you don't want people falling in. You want the smell escaping. You want to keep that hole
Yeah.
just big enough.
yeah, it
Guess
was a
so.
pretty important discovery indeed. The lead excavator, the one that unearthed it, said of the toilet, quote, "Just think, 2,700 years ago, someone shit in that hole.
Mm-hmm.
Wow."
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
amazing.
I mean, yeah, it was
Yeah.
a quote. I was kidding about the Jesus part, though, guys. The timeline doesn't add up. It turns out that the toilet was part of the ruins of a sprawling mansion. And Yaakov Bieling, who's the director of the Israeli Antiquities Authority, said of the décollé, quote, a private toilet cubicle was very rare in antiquity, and only a few were found to date. Most of them in the city of David. In fact, only the rich could afford toilets. Everyone else just went wherever they were when they had to
Wow.
make. That's a big part of why everyone wore tunics, end quote.
Yeah.
So, like, that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that.
Also, get this: if you're having trouble shitting today on a toilet and you're sitting down, all you got to do is raise your feet up, because the human body was designed to shit while squatting, standing up. So
Oh, man.
natural
Squatty
position. Yeah, exactly. Squatty potty. It's a whole principle behind it. So like,
Now we're gonna get 3 voicemails about the squatty potty.
Well, have you guys ever had like a buddy
It is delightful. I've shit on a squatty potty. It's
like
great.
a hardcore outdoorsman? Like, Will, you've been to Australia, Alaska, but I don't know if you went on this type of trip, but like there's a certain type of person that knows how to do what's called the natural, which is where you get down on one knee, right? And it's like a perfect posture where you can just shit clean. And
yeah, I
then
mean, most
continue
people
on your way.
It's like
Yeah.
the thinker, but the stinker. Like you go on one knee and
It's called the natural. Might want to
yeah,
Google
the natural is
VPN, ExpressVPN.
probably a squatting move. I'd say most of the people, like if you go out like with a guided camping, they're gonna make you shit in a bucket, and then they're gonna
Right.
pull the
Pack
shit
it in,
out,
pack it
'cause-
out.
Right. But if you go on your own, I know a lot of people just like, they take a spade and they dig a little hole in the ground, shit in it, and cover it
I've
up.
got
and
it.
Move
Yeah.
It'll
along.
be
Well,
clean.
talking loudly about what a pain in the ass this bucket is. Am I right?
Yeah.
Can't believe
exactly.
I'm going in this bucket.
It's kind of like when you just swat your dog's poop off the trail instead of actually picking it up. You know,
Never picking it up.
you
on
just
nature
swat it
trails.
off so nobody steps in it. You swat it away so that
Nature's
nobody
shitting
could
out.
possibly step in it.
Yeah.
There's
And then-
flies out there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like wash your hands while no one's looking. No, thank you. Anyway, that's the TikTok International Moment. Keeping it short today because we got a killer interview at the back half of the show.
One last segment before that interview. This segment's called 5-0. No. Got a couple of police or law enforcement related stories for you in this segment that will make you say, oh no.
5-0.
Oh, 5-0. No.
No.
Oh, no. On Tuesday, the FBI raided the Manhattan, New York Police Union building. They were armed with a warrant, spent several hours inside the police union building, and left with a bunch of cardboard boxes filled with, I assume, evidence. The union is the Sergeants Benevolent Association, which represents over 13,000 NYPD officers and is the 5th largest police union in the United States, and is run by Ed Mullins, whose home was also raided in parallel to the union building.
It's a great
No-
cop name.
Yeah. No word yet. Ed Mullins. Yeah,
Ed
he's
Mullins.
a cop.
That's a cop.
No word yet on what they're. I got a picture of Ed Mullins here. You tell me.
Oh yeah.
You tell me.
It's-
Does he look like a cop? Yeah. No word yet on what they are after, but Mullins is a very colorful figure as well, having clashed with NYPD and de Blasio in the past. He also has called a city councilman a first-class whore and a former health commissioner a bitch from the SBA's main Twitter account that he runs as the administrator. He also has said some questionable things on race, calling Trevor Bates, a linebacker for the Detroit Lions who punched a cop and got arrested, worse than a wild animal, and saying the events of Ferguson, Missouri in relation to the death of Michael Brown was a lie, and it was just to get after police, and so he's not a fan of the blacks either.
Better than being a business class whore or a
Yeah.
coach whore.
Ed Mullins likes it
True.
white, likes to keep it white. Ed Mullins does. It seems like someone at the FBI said, "Oh shit, we need to actually do some work here, guys," as this came the same day that the Justice Department announced it's reconsidering its decision not to prosecute FBI agents in the botched investigation of disgraced former USA Gymnastics physician Larry Nassar. Good call. Maybe reconsider that. Yeah, I guess some Olympic athletes. I guess someone finally took Olympic athletes Simone Biles, Allie Raisman, Michaela Maroney, and Maggie Nichols' testimony seriously when they did it last month, and made enough noise for them to not be ignored years after the fact when some of them already came forward.
It was so cocky of the FBI to think that firing one dude over that entire thing was just totally enough. And like they even trotted out the director Chris
They
Ray
fucked
to be
up.
like, well, we did fire the one guy, and hopefully you're feeling better now since he's behind bars, and we're sorry, but and then that's all they were planning to do. And
They
then
fucked up. On Tuesday, the DOJ in front of the Senate reversed course. It was like serving innocent children up to a pedophile on a silver platter, Raisman said at during that testimony last month. And then from the Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco to the Senate on Tuesday, she said the survivors who testified so bravely deserve better than they got from the FBI and the Justice Department. So shit's about to hit the fan on the FBI for that. Good call. Maybe look into why they didn't do anything at all to Nassar for years after having witnesses come forward and all the information they needed. Next up, Operation Blitz, which aimed to tackle antisocial behavior in the coastal England town of Eastbourne, suffered a few hiccups last week. They relied heavily on tips from resident snitches. It was a police relying on residents to tell them what to patrol operation. And the residents called in such things as public drug use and trespass by a child. Unfortunately, the main tip for drug usage turned out to be a person taking their insulin inhaler or like their insulin needle. So, whoops. And they weren't taking drugs at all. They were just taking their insulin. So the
Look
cops
at this
could-
piece of shit. Can't live without it. Can't live without it, can you,
Yeah.
junkie?
shooting up their insulin.
Shoot it up.
Yeah. Whoops. And the children that were reportedly breaking into the Esperance Hospital building were nowhere to be found when police arrived. If in fact they were ever there, Operation Blitz might have gotten a few prank calls.
Yeah, policing by tip line is
Dangerous.
got to be the worst thing ever. Like
Yeah.
it just sounds like the worst approach of all time.
Yeah.
You're just gonna only go to places around a nosy person's house
Yeah.
that thinks everybody's breaking the law.
It's
Policing by
pretty
tip
much
line.
making the tip line the number like 1-800-OWN-ME daddy, because that's all that's happening to the cops is they're getting
Exactly. Police by tip line is the 5 oh no's best friend. And no word yet on if Operation Blitz round 2 will take place or not. Maybe they can implement this and work together with that town that had the local kids like smearing cakes or whatever on the cars recently that I did. They were successful in finding a few young hooligans who were setting small fires with aerosol cans under tunnels and stuff or by the beach. And police managed to round up a few of those kids with aerosol cans, take them to their homes and speak to their parents. And the parents said, yeah, they're 12. So, it's
Super effective.
couple of first-class whores.
yeah, a couple of first-class whores. Oh, no. And lastly, Dallas police officer Jesse Coates was fired recently after responding to a domestic incident in late August, this just after a year on the force. He joined January 2020, year and a half, I guess. Long story short, Coates stumbled upon a terrible pet owner who had a loose dog and a 1-month-old kitten who was outside her house and, quote, not doing well. And here's where you might want to earmuff it, Judy Carroll and any other pet lovers and owners, specifically cat owners. Coates then asked the crazy woman if he could put the kitten out of its misery, like 5 times. And after what is debatably inconclusive confirmation from the owner, who may have given it to his partner, and like he kept asking her because he really wanted to put this cat down that he thought was suffering, he finally just put the cat in a plastic bag and then spent 3 minutes trying to snap its neck. And finally, after 3 minutes of cursing, he did kill the kitten, 1-month-old kitten. After 3 minutes, he snapped its neck. But it was so hard to watch from people on the scene that he was fired immediately.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
This guy's just hell bent on killing.
it doesn't look like it's doing good. Can I kill it? And they're like, I don't know, Coates. Like, what? It's not your cat. Do you want to call like the animal people in? Or I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it now. It's suffering. And it took him 3 minutes. So that was the
Guess it wasn't suffering.
worst case. No, I guess it was fighting for its fucking life. It seems
Yeah,
like.
for 3 minutes. Oh,
So he got
no.
fired.
You can't kill a kitten in 3 minutes. You're not strong enough to be a cop anyway. You know.
Yeah, exactly. The cat was
That should
fighting.
be instant. Yeah.
It was in a plastic bag, and he. Okay. Anyways.
Whoa.
Yeah, the first time I read the story, I got sick to my stomach. Okay, end scene. Wes, I think you have an interview to lead us into, right? Let's go to the interview. Oh no.
All right. Welcome to the show. A correspondent for News Nation Now, based in Miami. He's a traveler, aviation nut, dog lover, and total news hound. Brian Entin. And welcome to the show, Brian. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
So Brian is the guy who we discovered through Twitter, he's leading the charge down there, boots on the ground in Northport, Florida, at the Laundrie house covering the Gabby Petito case. And as you can see, he's got there's the infamous camper right there in the background of his shot.
Wow. You were on the scene.
On the scene.
Yeah, we've been here. I think today is like day 19. So we're basically camped out in the neighbor's yard. The police sort of moved all the media off the street. Some of the other neighbors were getting frustrated. So we made an agreement with the neighbor. We kind of became friends with him. And he's let us camp out on his yard, which is like a great spot to be because we're literally right just like feet away from Brian Laundrie's parents' house and the camper and the trucks. And we've been able to kind of keep an eye on everything that's happening.
What the Laundries did to that neighbor?
Yeah, I was going to say how the neighbor says we never liked those Laundries. Is that what they said to you? Like,
they actually didn't really know the Laundries very well. The neighbor works a lot. He's barely home, but he just kind of liked us. And I think he felt bad that the media was getting booted out, and we had kind of become friends with him for a couple of days. So he was like, listen, you guys can stay in our yard. So.
Come on. What's the real skinny there? You've had a neighbor before in your life.
Yeah.
What's going on there between the Laundries and the
Well, there is
neighbor?
one thing now that you mentioned. He did say, so he's a big dog lover, the neighbor who we're with. He's got 2 Frenchies, and he says the Laundries don't like dogs. So that is kind of one rift. Yeah. So
there it is.
That's their mistake right there. Other than harboring and abetting and all that stuff. And
it does seem like the neighbors are pretty ready and willing to help in this case. So
yeah, the neighbors have been pretty cool overall, and I think they're frustrated by the Laundries. I mean, they've been upset with them since the beginning. Why aren't they talking to the police? Why aren't they coming out? So the neighbors have definitely sort of been, I would say, like on the media side through this whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a guy across the street as well. He did like an interview, I think about like the timing of
them
when
cutting the grass and going on bike rides. Right. That's the guy who was talking
the
about
old
that.
guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which there's updates on the timeline, right? Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah, so like every day the timeline changes a little, but today I think was like one of the most significant updates we've seen yet, because today the attorney for the Laundries came out and said that the Laundries, the date that they first gave that Brian disappeared, which was Tuesday, September 14th, they're now saying that they got the date wrong, that he actually vanished on Monday, a whole day earlier, and that they sort of came to this realization when they were in discussions with the FBI, which is certainly another sort of mysterious moment here, because we've all been going off, the fact that it was Tuesday, and now they're saying, no, actually he disappeared on Monday.
They got confused because it was the Monday Night Football, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah,
they got confused. Yeah.
Super weird that they remembered it when they were talking to the FBI,
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds?
Convenient timing to update your timeline.
Yeah. So also that what came out yesterday was an interview with the sister, Cassie Laundrie, and I found some interesting stuff. I watched the interview, and she's basically saying she doesn't know where she is. I believe that nobody knows where he is at this point, because the FBI is probably tracking their phone calls and whatever. But she says that after he came home around September 6th or 7th, she was on that trip to DeSoto Park with him, and there's pictures of him with his nephews. Quote from her: "We just went for a couple hours. We ate dinner, had some s'mores around the campfire, and left. There was nothing peculiar about it." She says there was no feeling of grand goodbye. There was nothing. Why the fuck isn't she asking where's your fiance, Brian? I mean, to me, it sounds like a mob kind of like say goodbye to your uncle, Brian. He's going to be going away for a while, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so she claims that she wasn't that close to her brother. That's what she's saying now. But I mean, you watch the interview with her. The way this went down was so strange. There's basically these protesters who are outside the house every day. They have these bullhorns and they shout at the house behind me like, "Justice for Gabby, come out and talk to the FBI." And so they spend most of their time here at the parents' house. But yesterday they decided to go over to the sister Cassie's house, which is 45 minutes away. And they were just out there for hours with these bullhorns, like shouting at her house. The neighbors were all upset. And apparently she just got fed up with it. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, her and her husband just come out of the house. They come right out on the lawn. I mean, we've been trying to talk to these people for weeks. I couldn't believe this. They come right out on the lawn, cameras rolling from the protesters, and they just talk to the protesters for 20 minutes and answer all of their questions.
Wow.
Brian, what do you think these people do? I mean, I'm just always curious when someone, like, unless it's an immediate family member, like, do they not have jobs, these protesters? Have you talked to them?
So that's a good question. So there's a kind of a core group of protesters, and I'm not sure if they have jobs because they're here every day.
They look a little jobless, don't they?
They could be. They are definitely sort of like career protesters.
They're passionate.
They are passionate. They have different issues that they get behind, and this is kind of their thing right now. Yeah.
So, speaking of, them being tracked now, do you think, Brian, having been there so close to the scene, do you think that Brian Laundrie is still in the USA at this point or not?
That's a good question. I mean, if he got out of the U.S. or far, he didn't have any money. He was, didn't have any real financial backing. So unless he got help from someone from the parents or something like that, I don't think he really had the resources to make it that far away. But he was an outdoorsman. He was really into camping. His sister said he was the kind of guy who could survive for a long time out in the wilderness.
Yeah, but then she says he kind of sucks now. In the latest, he's like a kind of an average survivalist in the interview. Yeah,
right. Yeah, but I think she said something like, well, couldn't anybody, couldn't we all just survive if we had what we needed? So
just a little cocky,
right?
The weird thing is though, like when you talk to her and when you hear from the parent's lawyer, I mean, they all sort of talk in the sense that he's alive. Like no one's crying, no one's saying, "Oh my gosh, we think our son is dead." So like all these family members sort of have this attitude like he's out there somewhere.
Well, so I see the camper.
It seems like.
Have they checked the attic?
Yeah, Brian, I see the camper behind you. What's the level of dirtbag down there on the ground? Like, because I feel like there might be some serious dirtbag going on over there at the Laundrie home, right? We got the camper, we got the not talking to the police, we got the murdering son. What's the vibe? Like, is it how would you rate the neighborhood?
So the vibe is really weird because, like, again, we're like camped out here. So every time they haven't left in a couple days, but every time they leave, like we run over with the cameras. And they're just so subdued. Like the wife just kind of puts her head down. They come and go. They leave usually in this red truck that you see here. And it's just like, again, it's people have said if they were that worried about their son actually being missing, like why would they always be so calm? Someone got video of them gardening over the weekend in the backyard. I mean, it's just a very strange situation.
They're getting food delivery in a lot, right? Is that the case?
Oh my gosh, the deliveries are insane. So like people are sending deliveries to the protesters and then also to the media, but for some reason it all goes to their door. So they've been getting like pizzas, coffee, flowers. Like there's an enormous amount of flowers because people are sending flowers for Gabby to
those
their
are for
house.
Gabby,
and they're taking them in.
Well, they're leaving them all outside. You probably, the service isn't that good, but like down there, there's like a ton of flowers down there.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So they're just stepping over the flowers as they leave.
They go out and they get the food, but they leave the flowers.
Wow,
which is kind of interesting.
Reminder.
But it's kind of strange because these like poor Amazon delivery guys show up, and like FedEx and UPS, and like we all run because we all want to see like what's being delivered, and like these guys are just like they have no idea. They're like, well, who is this? What's happening? It's like,
have you thought about shipping something like hilarious, like a dildo or like a big ass knife or like an escape plan?
Yeah, I want to see like a big like statue get shipped in, and like they have to like deal with it in the front yard or something.
Yeah, we've wondered like what some of the stuff is, but most of it's boxed up, so we don't know.
Giant box of nothing.
But they must have a lot of food because they don't really leave. So we know
are they gaining weight? You see them come out and get in the red truck. Are they gaining weight in there?
I mean, they look about the same to me.
Okay,
but it's all very quick. They get in the truck and they
bull
go.
Horns out there. I'll just come out with it. Has anyone crapped in their lawn yet?
Yeah, where are you guys shitting?
Not that
I mean, like
seen.
out of spite. Like, has anyone like
I wouldn't be surprised because there's been some really intense people out here, but luckily I haven't seen that happen.
There's been a couple altercations with the protesters and the other neighbors, right?
Yeah, there's been, I mean, you can imagine like some of these imagine if every single day, every single hour for 5 minutes, they get on the bullhorns. I mean, it gets really annoying for some of the neighbors.
Oh,
So this one guy just like lost it one day, and came out and like had actually got physical out in the street. But for the most part, I would say the neighbors have been pretty understanding.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So there was one other development that we found out about that Brian actually flew back to Florida to pick up some supplies, apparently after the incident in Utah with the police and the body cams and all that. What happened there? They said he closed a storage locker. Maybe he picked up a shovel. I don't know what the fuck he did, but what happened? Is there any information on that trip?
So this was like one of the new details that came out with the sister. That was what was so great about the sister talking, is we had like all these new nuggets we could then go try to confirm on our own. It was like it was crazy. So we first heard about this from her. The sister confirmed it through the lawyer today. Basically, that Brian did fly back without Gabby in August to close out a storage unit. According to the lawyer, they were going to possibly stay on their trip longer, so he came back to get more clothes and supplies.
Right.
And the sister says that she did a FaceTime call. Brian came to visit the sister, and they FaceTimed Gabby on the phone, which would confirm, Gabby was alive at that point and was back in Salt Lake City waiting for Brian to come back.
See, that doesn't add up because she says that they're not close. I don't usually FaceTime with people, that I'm not close with, relatives. I don't FaceTime with anyone, even if I'm close with them, but especially if I'm not close with them. Why isn't she?
I think she says she's not close because she wants this to be the only time that she's bothered.
Right. Sure. But I mean, nobody asked where Gabby was. That aspect drives me crazy. Is there any information about nobody questioned, hey, where's your fiance when he came home? Anything.
Well, that's you hit the head on the nail. I mean, that's the big question. I mean, this is your fiance. She lived in this house for like a year with the family. Right. I mean, she's a member of their family. This isn't just like they've known each other a long time. The families are friends. Like, how does he come back with her van, by the way, in her van without her? And no one's freaking out. And then also her family is blowing up their phones here, calling and texting like, we hear Brian's back, but where's Gabby? And they're not getting a response. So
have you talked with her parents? Have they?
No, I mean, no, they haven't talked to anyone, but I shout questions at them every time they come out.
To
Gabby's I'm sorry,
parents.
To Gabby's parents.
Yeah.
I've texted a bit with her dad, but we haven't had our network has done interviews with them, but I haven't had the opportunity to actually talk with them one-on-one.
Tough convo.
What about Dog? Have you met his dog? Been sniffing around the yard?
Yeah, I've met Dog, and been in touch with him. He had a few really good leads. I mean, it was tricky as a journalist. Like, people were questioning, is he here for publicity? I mean, how do you kind of handle Dog when he shows up?
Let's be honest, he's doing it all at once.
Yeah, he hijacked Fox News to bring Dog his canceled show back on the air in a genius move.
So there was a bit of a struggle here. Like, I want to interview him, but anyway, what happened is in the beginning he had good leads. It was impossible not to interview him. This whole campground thing, the family going camping while Gabby was missing, that all came from Dog. We found out that it wasn't even until after Dog brought it up that the FBI went out there and investigated and got the surveillance video. So he became like a legitimate part of the story for a couple of days.
Yeah,
man. What does Dog smell like? Is he just like leather? Does he like cologne?
I only saw him
smoking.
outside.
Did you see him smoking at all?
Yeah, I didn't see him smoking, but his hair is very, what you would envision. And I mean, he's, aloha, the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So here he's relocating to Florida now, though.
Yeah, Central Command down there, right?
Yeah, he was here, I guess, on vacation with his wife. And he says that so many people were saying, like, please, you're in Florida, you got to help. And so now he said he's gonna work on it till the end.
It's like in the movies, the crime comes to Dog.
Right? Yeah, you can't help it.
Right.
Right. I want to bring one thing up, right? So, like, I guess I didn't hear this detail, but we know that he went to that DeSoto wildlife area, which is a camping area, right? So, and the sister presumably went with her husband to have dinner at a camping area. I mean, that shit doesn't happen. Could you imagine your sibling rolling up and be like, "Hey, we're not camping. We're just here for fucking dinner at the camping area."
I could see that. I've done that move before.
No.
Gone for
Yeah,
just like
I
a
mean,
That's goodbye.
They're
meal
a
at the
camping
campground.
family. I mean, they've got
Yeah,
the camper
I've
behind.
done
I mean,
that before.
True.
that part wasn't strange, but again, back to what you said. I mean, she said they had
Woodsy folk, yeah.
s'mores. I mean, they're having s'mores, and where's Gabby? I mean, like, you know, that's the part that
Right.
kept
The
getting
conversation
me, like,
not happening is troubling.
Oh,
But
I feel like
yeah.
a conversation happened. Like I said, it's like the mafia. Like goodbye. Let's keep the kids calm and don't have them not ask about Aunt Gabby with some s'mores. You know.
Either the sister or the parents I'm talking with. The sister would have been like, he said she was back in whatever state visiting her family. You know, they didn't even bring that up at all.
They're lying, right? I mean, they're either
Yeah,
dumb or they're
seems like
lying.
it.
So
No, yeah, I mean it's a pretty big thing having a family member missing entirely. So
Yeah.
I
Right.
think it would come up in
has to be
conversation.
explained why.
Yeah.
yeah, and the fact that the sister says it just didn't come up. I mean, she's like, oh yeah, you know, we just figured, you know, it's like,
That's
You
because
know.
they asked once and Brian did this.
Yeah. The
then
throat
they
cut.
didn't
As in,
ask
like,
you.
don't talk
Yeah.
about
And then
it,
they didn't
sis.
ask you.
Never
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
So they
and
got
then-
Well,
then
maybe
it's-
we're wrong,
well.
and maybe they're totally not harboring a murderous fugitive. Maybe we're wrong, you know.
Maybe we're
so
wrong.
Brian,
maybe
you
so.
said. Sorry, Will, you were gonna ask a question. Go ahead.
No, Wes, go
Oh,
ahead.
I got one more. So you said that I saw that you talked to the guy that claims he saw Brian on the Appalachian Trail. Where was that sighting? And do you have any insight on what that guy said about Brian? Anything new that maybe that mainstream didn't cover?
So I talked to him. His name's Dennis. He was hiking. He's an engineer. He was doing this hike, like this 17-mile hike. He was right near the Tennessee, North Carolina border when he says he saw Brian Laundrie in a white pickup truck. He says he's 99.9% sure it was him. They had like a brief, very strange conversation that he said just rubbed him the wrong way about this person saying they wanted to get to California and it was trying to get to their girlfriend. But he, when I talked to him, he sounded credible. I mean, he's seemed like a normal guy, and he called the sheriff's office, and apparently, the FBI has now interviewed him, and so But the thing is, I mean, you've seen pictures of Brian Laundrie. He's
Generic.
a tall, skinny,
Yeah.
bald white guy. If he has a hat on, I mean, he kind of looks. He has a very, very familiar look to him.
A hiker.
There
He
have been
looks
a
like a
lot.
hiker.
There's been a lot of sightings of people that look like him. Yeah, it's bad
Yeah.
for hikers these days that are tall and
Yeah,
skinny.
very
Yeah.
typical hiker profile.
He does have a hiker profile, yeah, for sure.
And you mentioned, back to the parents, Brian's parents, the Laundries, where you're at. They were at one point the FBI kind of put them in a cop car, right? Like the mom, didn't they at one day like actually have them outside and not in custody maybe, but like in the car? Did they take them downtown anywhere?
Yeah, they didn't take them anywhere. That was like a really crazy day out here. Like when the FBI showed up for the search warrant, that's when
Yeah.
they were here for hours searching the entire house from top to bottom. And they actually put the parents in a van for like 10 minutes. And we were thinking, oh my gosh, is this the moment? Like, are the parents going to get arrested? But they were just in the van for like 10 minutes and then they went back into the house.
Interesting.
Brian, if you were to make a prediction, right, and obviously you don't know, but if you were to throw a dart at the board, because you're hanging out there with a lot to think about, right, 19 days in and some strange man's front lawn, what do you think the next thing to happen is in this case? What do you, if you could predict?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, every day I would have never thought the sister was going to talk on her front lawn yesterday for 20 minutes. It's
Yeah.
like,
That's
I mean,
pretty cool.
today I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, are they coming out today? Like, are they just going to come out and do their thing now to respond to the sister? So I really don't know. I mean, I hope, in all seriousness, like for the Petito family, like, I mean, you can't even imagine what they must be going through. And so I hope there's some kind of resolution just so that they can I mean, obviously they want to start a foundation and help others, but we've got to kind of solve this Brian Laundrie situation first. So, I hope there's a resolution soon for them.
Brian, I got a tip for you. I know you haven't been able to get much out of the Laundrie parents, but next time you see them, just yell, how do you feel about your son being captured in North Carolina? And just pretend like you
try to trick them. Yeah,
try to trick them. Yeah,
not a bad
That's-
idea. Okay.
Yeah.
That or yell, there's a dog inside your house. Like
Oh
'cause
my
they don't like
God.
dogs, like there's a giant dog was just let in your house.
And maybe like,
They-
I'm a dog specialist. I'll handle
Yeah.
it for you.
yeah.
Right. And who
Yeah.
doesn't
Animal
like
control.
Frenchies? I mean,
Right,
it's like
yeah.
the neighbors
Yeah,
got the
that's
cutest
sick.
Frenchies. That was
That's
strange.
sick. Red
Yeah.
flag.
Try to
Yeah.
trick them a little bit.
I like
Yeah.
the trickery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
It's a good
Brian,
idea.
we thank you. We thank you a lot for doing this and taking us on the scene, on the ground, and kudos to you for covering the story for such a long grueling period of time, 19 days in the front lawn. It's
Great coverage.
it's a
Well,
lot,
thank
man.
you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Take it
Thanks,
easy.
All right,
Brian.
see you guys later.
See ya.
All right, bye.
All right. Fantastic interview. Thank you, Brian, for coming on the show. If you want to follow Brian on Twitter, he's the main guy down there at the Laundrie House at Brian Entin, Entin. Does great work. So if you really want to stay on top of this case, he's a good one to follow. Let's see. Voicemails and reviews coming up. So be sure to get those in 512-270-1480. There's a cutoff. So if you want to get them in early. And hopefully we'll get to those, if not the next week. Buy some merch.
5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts.
That's
you
right.
know, those also have that. They have that early cutoff. So hit them now if you want to hear them on Friday.
That's right. Patreon.com/Hard Factor. Just keeping it growing over there. Lots of people signing up. So
Trivia was huge. Lotto was huge. Even though we didn't win, it was a rush gambling thread going great.
16 leg parlays coming up again.
Yeah, we'll probably get the form out on the 16-leg parlay
Today, probably?
no later than Thursday morning.
Yeah. Yep.
Excellent. Just in time for Thursday Night Football.
That's right. All right, that's it. We will see you tomorrow. We love you. Have a great fucking day.